Hey, you're wide receiver Khalil Shakir, right?
I sure am, kid. Here, go long.
Whoa! You're pretty good at football, man.
And you guys are pretty good at pizza.
Oh, sick. Dude.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Postgame Show podcast presented by Trainwreck Sports and Picasso's Pizza. The Buffalo Bills defeat the Miami Dolphins on a Tyler Bass 61-yard field goal with 5 seconds remaining to win 30-27 and sweep the Miami Dolphins on the season series, improve to 7-2 while knocking the Dolphins to 2-6. It was a wild Sunday. It was back and forth the whole time. A lot to work on for the Bills, but a lot to love here. But we got to start out with the main story. Our guy Tyler Bass here, who's been getting so, for me too. I was out on him too, to be honest. Like I was ready to be done with Tyler Bass, and has been getting a lot of ill will from this fan base in general, right? Like he's been the punching bag for most of since the offseason, honestly. Missed some kicks at the end of last year. Obviously, we know about the missed kick in the playoffs. Had his fair enough. He was good through the year too. Like he's been decent this year, but he had some struggles too. Even today, it's been this today is just a kind of a microcosm of the whole Tyler Bass experience going on right now, because he hits his first two kicks, and I even tweeted out. I said, "Hey, Tyler Bass is back. I'm sorry, Maniac, because Maniac's been a believer the whole time. Got to give him his credit there. He's been a believer for in Bass this whole time." So I wasn't, though. I was out on Bass, right? And he comes through in the biggest moment, his biggest kick of his year, one of the biggest kicks of his career, 61 yards. If you haven't seen it yet, I mean, go. It drilled it. Like probably would have made it from 65, 66. It was a good kick. A lot of distance on it. Like it was clean. It was right down the middle. It looked confident. And even with the struggles today, even going off the uprights twice, one bouncing out and one bouncing in, he powered through in a moment. 61-yard field goal. It's nice to be on the other side of one of those if you're a Bills fan, right? Like, you knew a couple weeks ago, we're talking in that Texans game after it, and I said, I think it was either on the pod or on this post-game show, that, man, wouldn't it just be nice to be on the other side of that one time? Because it's happened to the Bills a bunch of different times, and it finally came through, and in the best way against the Miami Dolphins, putting them to 2-6. Now, the thing about the Dolphins today, the Dolphins played an awesome game. Tua Tagovailoa, hats off to him, man. 25 of 28, 231, 2 touchdowns for Tua. He was awesome all game, and they were stressing the Bills out. They were stressing the Bills out today. It just is what it is. Achane with a huge game in the pass game and the rush game, honestly. He had 14 carries, 63 yards. Mostert had 56 yards on 10 carries. Achane had 58 yards through the air and a touchdown. The backs really hurt the Bills today. And Tua was just taking whatever the Bills defense gave him. The Bills didn't want to get beat downfield. Tua said, fine, I'll just dish it. We'll run the ball up the middle. We'll dish it to our backs, and we'll go from there. So Tua was awesome today. The Bills hurt themselves, especially in this first half. First half, they're just hurting. They're just putting it on themselves. The offense started slow. A lot of penalties early. You're looking at a game where you get down and it's 3-3. It's sloppy. Anybody's game early in this game, 3-3. We got to talk about the biggest rookie moment of the day. You know what? First, before we get into that, before we go all the way back there too, let's talk about some good things for the Bills here, because the most impressive play of the day is the 63-yard touchdown. I mean, the kick is going to get all the attention, obviously, but a 63-yard touchdown for Ray Davis on a catch, a scramble where Allen is just trying to make something happen. Ray Davis makes a couple guys miss and just shows that breakaway speed that we all were enamored with when he was a draft pick and what you saw in his years in Kentucky as a running back and as a prospect. I mean, it was Ray Davis has continued. I'm going to look up his season stats here because Ray Davis has continued to impress where it feels like it's not quite a two-headed monster in the backfield yet. Cook's still dominating the carries, and James Cook's still an excellent running back. I'm not saying anything like that, but Ray Davis is going to have a role on this team for a long time. 242 yards on the year. That's pretty good through 9 games for a rookie here who really hasn't, it's been upped his usage in the last couple weeks. So the game against the Jets, 20 carries, 97 yards where Cook was out, then 5 for 41, 6 for 29, and 4 for 20 today, but then the big pass play. Ray Davis has been awesome. And it was great to see him have that huge touchdown and a huge moment in this game. And just showing the flashes of what he can do as a rookie, right? Like that's what you want to see is some promise and some flashes. We saw some flashes last week from Keon Coleman and expect him a big week this week. The biggest issue in this game in the first half, it was a 14-point swing. It's as simple as that. When you're in the red zone, you have to take advantage of your opportunities. You have to score touchdowns. That's all it really comes down to a lot of times in a football game. And the Bills had I don't remember what it was. I want to say it was 1st and goal or 2nd and goal. I'm gonna get the play-by-play going here. But late in this drive, let's see, interception. It was 1st and 10 it wasn't 1st and goal. 1st and 10 at the Miami 11. Allen throws a dart to Coleman. Bounces off. Coleman lets it get to his body, hits his shoulder pad, bounces in the air. Jalen Ramsey picks it off. It was a great play by Ramsey to have the wherewithal to kind of find the ball and be able to get that pick. So Ramsey gets the pick, and then they go down 97 yards and score, which was the worst performance of the Bills defense, worst drive of the season. You let a team go 97 yards. I don't care what else has happened this year. That's the worst drive of the season. Makes it 10-3. The Bills hurt themselves. Now, let's talk about these holding calls here at the end of the first half, because the Bills hurting themselves that's not the right thing to say here at all. Because at least one of them was a phantom. The second one to put it to 1st and 30 did not agree with on Torrance, didn't think he held it all. I understand why they called it on Deion Dawkins. He was sitting on the guy. I don't know if that's a penalty in the thing, truly, but
There he is. Majka, 1-0 at the end of the day. 1-0. It's all that matters.
All that matters. I'm just breaking it down a little bit here. Is sitting on someone a holding penalty? I don't know. I legitimately don't know.
I don't think sitting on someone's a holding penalty, but I'll tell you what. If you asked Bills Mafia 3 weeks ago, I'll tell you what. They were definitely saying, let's get Mac Hollins involved. Can't wait to see some Ray Davis. Let's get in some Quentin Morris. And, of course, I trust Tyler Bass in a clutch spot at the end of the game. This is the things Bills Mafia has been saying all season long. That's why we got the smartest fans in the biz. Shout out Bills Mafia, Majka.
Yeah, this game pretty much went exactly to script. Like if you were talking about a preview in this week, I'm surprised if you didn't nail it, what are you doing? Like this is exactly how we expected to. Maniac, how was it in the stadium today? How were the vibes? Were they high through the first half or were they nervous?
No, all these games, the first half, like they don't completely take like the crowd out of it, but there's just kind of this like nervous, like anxious energy. It's not quiet, it's not anything like that, but it is interesting. And yeah, the slow starts, you hate to keep seeing them. You definitely saw an offense without Amari Cooper today. I will say everything looked a little bit tougher out of the gate. So we really value him in the offense. Obviously, I don't know what happened with Coleman after that play. I know he obviously took a crazy hit. I don't think Poyer intended anything. That would be crazy to think anything, but crazy hit. I hope he's okay. Was there any update there?
Haven't seen one yet. I'm sure that we're probably gonna have to monitor it all week. They're
okay. No, I got you. But obviously, you don't want to be losing weapons in this offense, Mike. Obviously.
Nope. Yeah, I mean Coleman and Cooper down right now. Even if Cooper's, if it's not as big of a deal of an injury or anything, like it's still two things you're monitoring for an offense that was the last 2 weeks one of the most electric passing offenses. Probably the most electric passing offense in the NFL. So, we'll see we'll have to keep an eye on the Keon thing. It did look. I don't know what he was like. I don't know if it was his. Okay, so Perino 7 minutes ago said Keon Coleman has a brace on his right wrist. So I was gonna say it didn't look like a head injury or anything to me.
Okay,
But
that makes me
got
feel
the
a little
wrist
bit
jammed up.
better. Yeah, because I
What is
like
up with
you,
these?
I was
We
worried
got
about the neck. I was worried about the head. I was worried about
or
the
even the
upper
chest or something like that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but so wrist injury. So 3 key bills with wrist injuries. That's a little weird, but yeah, that's where we're at this point with Coleman. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Yeah, I don't think it was an intentionally dirty play by Poyer. It's just that's just going to be tough for his Twitter mentions and everything else. Though it's an unfortunate play to happen there. But in this game overall,
don't worry. Rachel Bush is probably going to battle right now, so I'm not worried about his forces
she's always
for
ready.
sure.
She's always
But
ready.
Micah, 7-2. My goodness, I mean, it does not feel like long ago. I was just saying it. This team was 3-2, and we were waffling, wavering, however you want to say it, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, there was not a lot of confidence coming out of those games when you saw, losing to 2 quality opponents, and especially the way we lost that game to Houston. That's what I said before you jumped on here. I don't remember if I said it on the post game or pay the bills that week, but I remember vividly saying, wouldn't it be nice to get one of those kicks? Like, just not have it happen against us. And then it happens today. Like, it's a complete flip of the fortune from the beginning of the season. Miami looked great today. Like, that was one of the best games, offensively at the very least. We'll see them play. Like, my dad texted me right after. He's like, I'm sure glad that we're done with Miami this year. That's a team that's going to be dangerous down the stretch. Tua was awesome. The running backs were killer today. And this Bills team just survives, though. It's just like, it's the composure that they have. I didn't have any doubts with 1:38 and Josh Allen in 1 timeout that they were at least getting into field goal position. And I know you had a lot of faith in Tyler Bass. I did have faith in Tyler Bass in this moment. I was just hyped. I was just like positive energy. I'm like, come on, Top, you got this. Like, this is the time. And he's the hero. Like, now look at how this is flipped. Is now he is like makes one of the most is that the longest? We need to look this up. I haven't seen this stat. What's the longest Bills game-winning kick in history? Because 61's got to be close.
That has to be it almost. It's almost a guarantee because I don't think there's a 62-yarder or more. But yeah, it's something. I mean, you even had like Knox making plays today, and you have Hollins consistently being a part of the offense. I know that people don't love the snap counts, etc., based on his output with the target numbers and everything like that. But it is pretty massive that he can be a part. Just ignore it. And then obviously, Tyler Bass, it's just a hysterical narrative, each way or the other. But yeah, you got like no style points in the NFL, Michael. We know that. This is an interesting game for, I got to sign off real quick here, but interesting game for the Josh Allen MVP watch as well, because in the first half, it looked like this was going to be a wasted effort against the Dolphins, 14-21 for like 98 yards, I think he was at one point or something. But ultimately kind of puts the pedal to the metal and obviously puts up another good game against Miami. I mean, that 20-yard run, I can't believe that got called back. That 20-yard TD. Man.
I know that. And there was all those holds on the interior and on the outside they were given there. But Allen, he was masterful today, man. Yeah, man. Like, it wasn't perfect, but when he needed to put the cape on, he put it on. When he needed to run it. He just needed to do whatever he needed to do, he did in the moments. The touchdown to Morris is a play that him and maybe Mahomes can make, like, to have the wherewithal to get that ball out and make it accurate. It's just, he's been on this level this year that is, I think this is easily the best I've ever seen him play, like, in his whole career. He's just so in control. It's like the 7 years in, fully a veteran. He gets Chop Robinson. How big is that play on the third and 14 to get Chop Robinson to jump?
I like how he was
make that play.
He didn't get the free play. It's like
he was chirping at us.
Veteran, but
we're charging at McGovern a little bit.
Micah, obviously appreciate you here on the post-game podcast. I'll let you put your finishing touches on it, but 7-2, love to see it. Let's keep it rolling, baby.
We love to see it. Thank you, Maniac, for joining. He was at the stadium and listened to Trainwreck tonight.